Hey guys, welcome to my Firebase map guide. This will help those of you who want to know all of the important things about the new map. This guide will cover just about everything but the Easter egg, which I may do a separate video on. More specifically, I'm covering getting power, pack-a-punch, free JUGG, and how to build the RAI-K 87. As a side note, this is coming out only a few days after the map is out, so some of this information might change. Now, as for what weapon you start with, that's personal preference, but I usually start with either the Street Sweeper, the Mac 10, or the Groza, but today I'm using the Street Sweeper. Perks and field upgrades are also personal preference, so I won't really go over those either, but I tend to use Ring of Fire or Healing Aura most of the time.
I got strike team arriving at the village. They're ready to go.
As you spawn in, make sure you figure out where everything is, because you're going to be here pretty frequently. Also, I would not recommend leaving until about round 5, so you have a good bit of points you can use. Over here you can see a crafting table, and back there you can see Pack-a-Punch. Yes, in spawn. And if you have tier 3 melee or another good melee, make sure you take advantage of that to get even more points. A lot like the Machine, there's going to be a lot of plot-related chit-chat going on for the first 5 to 10 rounds, so you're going to be hearing a good bit of background noise.
Yes, the teleporter on the roof will take you there. At the base,
You can now head over to Ravenov and watch his handcrafted animations, which I'm surprised they went to the length they did, but I'm not counting it for it. But just wait here till he's done talking, and then you can go to the teleporter whenever you hit round 5.
I hope you show me a good fight.
Over here in this gated off area is the Fizz machine, and of course you can see Pack-a-Punch, but you need power. So eventually you will get to round 5, but you can stay in spawn until round 9 if you want, just like the Machine. It's up to you what you want to do. Now that you have a reasonable amount of points, you can go by this door, which will take you up to the roof where the teleport to the other section of the map is. I would also recommend that you get all of the loose change from the perk machines. Those 100 points add up. Alright, now you're on the main section of the map. You will spend the majority of your time playing this map here. Here you can see Tombstone, the new perk for this map. As you entered, you can see 3 doors, which is how you get the power on. You need to turn on the 3 ether reactors in these 3 sections of the map. Alright, as for the 3 doors, there is this one that leads you to Open Lot, Mission Control, and Stamina Up. This one that takes you to Barracks, Data Center, and Speed Cola. And this one, which takes you to the Motor Pool, Weapons Lab, and Juggernog. We'll go through this one first, but the order doesn't matter. All 3 of the ether reactors are turned on the same way, so I will only show turning on one of them for the sake of brevity. But all you have to do is defend the marked reactors and build charge on them by killing zombies. It's not particularly difficult, especially in solo, as you're about to see. You only have to defend 2 in solo, with the number increasing to 4 as you get more players. As you finish the 3 reactors, there will be a room-clearing blast, so you have a second to breathe. Eventually, you will have all 3 reactors on, and the entire facility now has power. You can also feel free to use your time getting the power on to hit the mystery box for guns, as well as to try your luck at getting the RAI-K out of the box, or from a legendary reward by doing trials. As you will hear from Ravenov, Pack-a-Punch is now on over in spawn, along with the rest of the building and the Fizz machine. Now, back in spawn, you can see that the Pack-a-Punch is now available. I would recommend before you leave spawn again that you Pack-a-Punch so you don't have to come back later. It's about this time, nearing round 10, that mimics will begin spawning, so be careful around any random items you see on the ground because it may be a mimic. Ah, there's one. I would also heavily recommend that whenever a mimic spawns that you make it to your utmost priority to kill it ASAP, because it will do pretty heavy damage to you if you're not careful. Also, every time you kill one, it will drop a bit of ammo, so be sure to pick it up. Now, this is how you get the free Juggernog and a free weapon. You just have to shoot the absolute shit out of this rabbit up here. It may take quite a few bullets and multiple rounds, but keep shooting. You'll know when you've done it, you'll hear this, and you'll want to keep shooting. And then, you'll be unable to move, and you'll be teleported to a very dark area. Now, as for what you'll have to do here, it's pretty simple. You have to find and shoot 3 glowing purple bunnies like this one. It will spawn zombies and a few mimics, but once you shoot the final bunny, they will all despawn, and you can go and grab your loot. As you can see here, just go up and interact with it. The same box as with the dancing Easter egg and D Machine, but this loot box is guaranteed to have a purple weapon or better. Now, before we get to the buildable RAI-K, make sure you have a gun you can reliably single fire with, like this MP5, which I will show you. If you can't find one, there is a Magnum wallby you can use to the left of the spawn crafting table. You'll need it later. Now, for the buildable RAI-K, first, you'll want to head over to the weapons lab over here and pick up the blueprint that is going to be on the wall. After that, you'll hear some dialogue from Ravenov telling you that you need to find Kuklay's body for a key. The so-called key is over here in Scorched Defense. You want to make your way further out until you see a truck with a body and something you can pick up. You will then hold your interaction button to get the key from Kuklay, that key being his eyeball, in a pretty awesome little cutscene. And don't worry, you're entirely invulnerable while doing this, so you don't have to worry about the zombies. Now, with his eyeball, head back over to the weapons lab and interact with the computer. You will now have a locker key, which you will use on a few lockers over in the barracks. You should also take note of this circle, as it will be important later. Over at the barracks, you need to open up these 7 lockers. Some will give you nothing, and others will spawn mimics. You need to kill these mimics, as one of them will drop a piece you need for the RAI-K. It could be the first one, or the third one. It's random, so just keep opening the lockers until you get one to drop. I will show all of the lockers just to make sure you don't miss any. As you can see, my second mimic gave me the part, but yours may not. So here is the rest of the lockers, even though I got the key just to make sure you guys can see. And yes, before you ask, they do always spawn at that window over there. You don't have to worry about them spawning from anywhere else. Now is arguably the most difficult part of building the RAI-K. The circle on the weapons lab computer I mentioned earlier corresponds to this dartboard here in spawn. You'll want to head back to that computer and interact with it. It will start showing one section of the circle moving. The easiest way I found to do this part is to count how many times it moves left or right, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then remember the number, then count again. You'll end up with 3 numbers, which will also be random for you. So you may have different ones than what I have. Just remember the numbers for later, and if you miss part of it, you can replay it as many times as you need to.
You hear that? Death comes.
Now, starting on round 15, and about every 5 rounds after that, with maybe the exception of round 25, you will have to defend certain areas of the map. The first time you head over there, you can also pick up a free score streak. What you have to do here is just defend the score streak machine until we kill all the zombies. If it takes too much damage, they'll have to go back to the ether reactor, and if that takes too much damage, then the power for that area will shut off and you'll have to turn it back on. However, if you are successful, you'll get a carpenter and a max ammo. Now, back to building the RAI-K. Back in spawn, use those numbers you counted and count that many spaces on the dartboard and shoot it. Then go to the next number, and so on. After you shoot all 3 numbers that correspond to the ones you got, shoot the bullseye. A part will come out of the dartboard that you can pick up. Also, starting from round 15-ish, the manglers will begin to spawn. You want to watch out for those, literally, because you have to shoot them in the arm as they are charging to get them to drop the part you need. I was not aware of this, and unfortunately didn't get my part till round 29. Now, as a side note, starting on round 25, Hellhounds will start spawning. They aren't too much of a problem. All they do is run up to you, howl, and explode into an area of fire. They don't really have that much health, but still, keep an eye on them. As you can see, I finally got the Uncharged power cell. What you do with this is you go to the weapons lab and plug it in, then leave it for 2 rounds. You can leave it at the end or beginning of a round, but I would recommend putting it in there immediately and then coming back in 2 rounds. In my case, since I put it in on round 29, I come back and get it on round 31. You'll know it's charged when it's able to be picked up, and you go over to where you got the blueprint and build it, and there you go. It can be pack-a-punch 3 times like almost every other gun in the game. And that's it. That's my Firebase Z guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Now that you have a reasonable amount of points, you can go by this door. That's too fast. Alright, as for the 3 doors, there is this one that leads you over to Pornhub, this one that takes you over to the Gay Pride Parade, and this one that just takes you to Boston. As you will hear from Ravenov, Pack-a-Punch is now up on It's about this time, nearing round 10, that mimics will begin spawning, so you better uninstall the map now, because mimics suck dick. Now, with Kuklay's balls, interact with the computer. I will show all the lockers just to make sure you don't miss an enemy. Yeah, I mean you. You. You know who you are. You'll know it's charged when it's able to be picked up, and you go over there, and you fuck. As you go over to the lockers in the barracks, you're gonna notice the lack of a drill sergeant over here. Now, just like D Machine, you might as well uninstall the game, because why do I even bother? Fucking shit.